The first aluminium boat was launched as a simple skiff in the middle of the last century. Fishermen loved the lightweight hull because it could be pulled in and out of the water more easily than wooden boats. Decades later, aluminium boats have evolved, but they still have that lightweight appeal. Since aluminium hulls aren't as heavy as others, these boats will go further on the same amount of fuel. Most boats of this type are made from high-grade aluminium that's corrosion resistant. Rollers flatten the metal, and a blade called a slitter cuts it to length. A computer-guided router then makes precise cuts to produce parts that will fit together perfectly, like this bracket to reinforce the stern. The boat's larger components are cut with a computerized plasma torch. It can cut a wider path than a router. The cut-out parts are transferred to a pallet. This is the boat's bottom panel. A long piece of aluminium will be the gunnel, which is the upper edge of the hull. This is bent around a wooden template to give it the correct curvature. Next, the bow is reinforced with an extra plate of aluminium to withstand pounding waves. The other end is braced with stiffeners, which are screwed in place. The screws act as a clamping system until the parts of the boat can be permanently attached. A line of caulking helps waterproof the seam between the hull and the back of the boat, called the transom. Again, screws hold everything together as the clamping continues. The two sides of the bow are joined and held together with a vice grip. This strip of aluminium will act as the spine of the bow. It's called the brace plate. More screws tack it into position. The sides are attached to the rest of the hull. Hundreds of holes are now drilled along the seams and plugged with rivets. The clamping screws are taken out, and the holes left are also riveted. They install the gunnels on the rim of the hull. Now it's time for the tank test. The boat is lowered into a tank to check that it's watertight. If any leaks are found, the team will re-rivet the seam. Foam is then sprayed into the bottom and the sides. This will keep the boat afloat in the event that something should puncture the hull. Next, the surface is roughed up to allow the paint to bond better. At this stage, felt is used to line the storage panels to give the interior a more finished look. Carpet is then laid, port to starboard. Next comes the plastic fuel tank. The fuel line hoses are connected and secured with a stainless steel collar. The dashboard fits onto the front. It's pre-wired, so it connects easily to the boat's main wiring harness. Next, lubricant is applied to the motor's drive shaft. This allows the propeller to slide on easily. It's tightened with a pneumatic ratchet. The motor is then hoisted onto the stern and bolted into position. With the interior now complete, this metal boat bears little resemblance to its early predecessors. This particular model doubles as a fishing boat and a pleasure craft. And it proves that aluminium boats are no longer just a basic form of transportation. Right, go on, open her up. Faster. Look at the size of that engine.